All right, welcome back. We've made it through the first part of getting set up with a trainer. The first part was the referral. We've made it to the second part, communication. We're making it into the third part. The referral and the communication should hold a lot of weight in the back of your head. The reason for that is the first phase of training is never sexy. The first phase of training is your fundamentals. Fundamentals exist to make sure that we can decrease risk of injury and increase likelihood of success. And I want to say that again. We are going to decrease risk of injury. The risk of injury is never zero. We are going to increase the likelihood of success. The likelihood of success is never 100%. And I want to be clear about that. There is no such thing as a guarantee that you'll get to your goal unless you're willing to work. Unless you're willing to work. We want to go through the basic movements that allow you to make sure that you are as durable and ready for exercise as possible. Every trainer is going to have different words they use for this first phase of training. However, that's irrelevant. What is important is the next month of your training is going to be dedicated to injury prevention, which all the movements that you will do from this first month will build into the sexier movements, will build into the more fun movements. But if you can't do those movements unloaded, it's very unlikely that you can do them loaded. Trainers, because their best asset is the ability to keep you safe. Unfortunately, because the average person comes in and they want to do that sexy stuff that they saw online. They want to do the hard stuff that they've seen in CrossFit videos. They want to do the fancy stuff that they've seen some celebrity doing to get in shape for a movie role. They don't understand that all of those things happen after the fundamentals are established. The reason why these are the foundations of our movement is because they're things that we should be proficient at before we do anything else. And unfortunately, we're not proficient at them. We haven't been on our hands and knees in maybe years. You haven't gotten off the ground in years. You haven't done a push-up in years. If you haven't done a push-up in years and you decide that you want to go out and bench press, how is that going to work? We look too often at the sexy movements. We look at the movements that show pride. And that goes back to what we talked about. Communication is the abandonment of pride and ego. If you do not check your pride and your ego at the door at the very beginning of your training relationship, you are prone to injury. That is just a mental state. A mental state, not a physical state, will leave you more prone to injury if you do not listen to your trainer's fundamental programming. Now, I say this and a lot of you are like, well, of course we're going to listen, we're paying for this. No, you're not. All too often, we hear back from our clients, hey, I was doing the homework and I tweaked something. Well, what were you doing when you tweaked it? I was doing the deadlifts that were in my homework. Okay, well, what weight were you using? Well, I was using 300 pounds. Well, the workouts that you should be doing 60%, 300 pounds is 90%. How did you get from 60 to 90? Like, did I mess that up in what I sent you? No, I just felt really good, so I went heavier. So your ego told you that you were smarter than the trainer, and that's how you got injured. And I hate to put it that way, but that is exactly how people get injured. People are less likely to get injured in front of their trainer than they are to get injured on their own. The reason for this is on your own, you feel good. You feel like you should push a little bit more. Well, unfortunately, the way your homework is designed, the way your program is designed, your trainer has an idea how much volume you should be doing. They have an idea as to how much your body has done in the past and what your body is ready for. The moment that you go off from the plan is when you are prone to injury. To recap, our goal is to make sure your fundamental movement patterns are as clean as possible and as smooth as possible to decrease as much of the risk of injury as possible. Make sure we can follow a plan, make sure we have the ability to articulate our thoughts and concerns, and make sure that when we give homework, you can stick with the homework given. And I know in the very beginning, this is hard for people to do, and that's not a dig, it's just we want results, we want the results yesterday. The problem is, when it comes to fitness, your body is not the body you had 5, 10, 15 weeks ago, let alone years ago. So you need to treat your body the way that we are telling you to treat your body to make sure that you can get to your goals as safely, quickly, and efficiently as possible.